Good, Darren? All right, happy Work Wednesday. Right back at it on the field. Great energy, great practice, nice and warm outside. It's supposed to be beautiful in Foxborough this weekend. So just great prep for the guys, but just getting right back to work with the focus and the intentionality, the intensity, the energy, all that. That's the challenge. Can we meet the challenge and show up every single day we get on the grass? And the guys met that challenge today.
Dave,
Yeah.
You said that you would give us an update on Sanders today, but what's your level of concern about McMillan, Sanders, and Leggett?
Yeah, so JT week to week with an ankle, so we'll just have to kind of evaluate that as we go. T-Max just day to day. You know, he's got a little bit of a calf, so we'll just take a look at him tomorrow, move him around, and then just go from there. Who else did you ask about?
Leggett.
Yeah, Leggett, the hamstring, same thing. You know, we're just evaluating them each day, see if we can get those guys both back out there. But, you know, we have to just push them. We got to see what their capacity is and then make a decision from there.
Day to day on Xavier also.
Yes.
This does give you an opportunity to look at some of your depth.
Yeah.
I know you probably don't want to give anything away, but when you put new guys into different situations, what are you learning about your depth chart?
Yeah, it's excellent opportunities for us to evaluate the guys and how we can count on them in different ways: run game, pass game, special teams, the different guys that are competing to find a way to help the team. And so, you know, today, obviously with T-Mac and with X not practicing, you know, we got to see a lot of Bryson Tremaine, a lot of David Moore out there to be able to just fill in those roles and really just give them the intention and the targets that way, you know. So, but the challenge is, you know, for X and for T-Mac is to stay engaged, to see what's happening out there while the other guys are practicing, getting ready.
All good with Hunter, Dave?
Yes, yeah, Hunter's personal. I don't mind saying congratulations to the Renfro family. Invited another baby girl into the family. So just a really cool moment for us. As we continue to, you know, dive into this season, you know, these are the great reminders and the beautiful moments we get to celebrate together.
What did you guys see in Mitch Evans back in the spring when you were scouting him and evaluating him, and what have you seen in the months you've been with him?
Yeah, versatility, his ability to help us in the run game as a blocker, his ability to move him around in the pass game, in the play action game, just a really well-rounded tight end. Protection-wise, all those things, just gives us the ability to put him in different spots. And, the reps are kind of evenly distributed throughout, for last game with JT and with Tommy and with Mitch. So it does give us an ability to be able to roll those guys through and find out how they can help us in different ways.
The T-Max injury, is that concerning to you? Is that something?
We're just checking it out day to day, and then we'll just keep evaluating tomorrow and on with the week.
Back to JT and the tight end with JT week to week now. The workload gets distributed down the line beyond Tommy now to Mitch and so forth.
Yeah, with week to week, we'll get to see James Mitchell. And, we kept him here for a reason. Did a fantastic job for us in camp, preseason. A guy that we really trust who can help us in special teams as well. So really fired up for James to get an opportunity to come out there and help us.
You guys really took advantage of pre-snap motion and some twists in the blocking scheme. This is a pretty good run defense in New England. Do you think you guys are going to have to be a little bit more creative to have success, or is this just a matter of playing your game?
Yeah, a combination of both things, right? Trying to see how they play the different runs and why are they having success, and for me, looking at the film, they have some really good players up front, and it's effort. These guys play hard, and they're very active. They're very active with their hands, getting off of blocks, trying to help, even though they're gap sound and all those things, sometimes the guys up front, Milton Williams, for example, just being able to shed a block and show up to help, So this group is really playing well together. I think outside of a couple of big plays, in the couple of losses that they had, they're playing really sound fundamental football, and so it's a great challenge.
Jimmy Horn, I know a lot of weeks has been wearing the scout team jerseys.
Yeah.
Did you have 3 available wideouts on the number 1 field today?
Yeah, we used a bunch of the guys. We used everyone we had today just to make sure we filled in for that.
How much of your request to play more of the younger defensive players after the opener was like, if we're going to play like we did in the opener, let's go down with some of our young guys? Or
it really wasn't an emphasis. It's just who we are, philosophically speaking. We're developmentally minded. Can we find opportunities for young guys to help in different ways so we can gather information?
Lathan Ransom make a big play to kind of exclamation point the game.
Yeah.
What did you see on that play as far as his technique and grit and stuff like that?
Yeah, habits coming to life. This is a guy that every day in practice he attacks the football, whether he's showing up, being physical to make a tackle, or if you're second man in, he's trying to find the ball. And so these habits become who you are over time, and all of a sudden in a moment, you react. And his reaction was, the tackle was secure. I'm going in for the ball. It was a great opportunity for us, and then Damani recovered it. So really glad to see those guys out there playing physical and playing off each other.
One more injury question. Jalen Coker is close to being eligible to call him. How's he progressing?
Yeah, it's week to week right now. He is progressing, and we're trying to gather all the information, get him strong as possible before we can get him back out there. 4-week minimum before his window opens up, and then we'll see what he can do.
We've been able to see Prince Emmanuel have a personality off the field. On the field, is he equally as joyful, and how does that kind of play into his game?
The more he gets comfortable, I think this goes for all of our players, the more they get comfortable in what we're doing and how we're executing, the more we'll see their personality come alive. And he's still in that space where he's playing hard and he's trying to figure it out. And that goes for a lot of the young guys who are continuing to learn to feel that confidence, the mental confidence, which leads us to playing fast, and once and you have that confidence where I'm not second guessing my assignments, I'm not second guessing these things, that's when we start to see guys make plays, show us who they are, and that's what I'm looking for, really collectively for our groups as well.
You talked a lot about David Moore in the past, especially on a week like this where you do have a lot of younger guys out there. How much do you lean on him just to kind of help relay messages, teach concepts, things like that?
Yeah, it's really just the consistency of how Demo shows up. And he's an amazing human. He's always helping guys around him. He's always looking for ways to serve. And then when he's on the field, he gives everything he has. And that's the example that we love about Demo and the way he represents us. This is the style that we're looking for on the practice field, on the game field. How much can I do? Coach, is there any way I can help out? Being willing to play different roles on special teams, some in a backup role, but that's somebody that we really just love having because he can go in there and catch a punt. and he's like, I'm willing to help the team in any way possible, and that's the type of mentality we have to have.
Do you have any background with Mike Vrabel, and is there anything you see on Patriots tape that is reflective of his personality?
Really just watching his teams, in Tennessee over the years, and then, as a coordinator in Houston. And I think the signature is they don't do a lot. What they do really well. And that's what he's looking for. And it goes to the same thing. If he can get his guys in position where they know what to do, then they can fly around and play physical and make plays. And that certainly is happening. What I see on film, that is happening for that group on both sides, where they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They have some wrinkles, but it's pretty good, just clean football and guys playing hard.
He spent 2 hours watching y'all's kickoffs. How much as teams start to kind of look at kind of the funky bounces and everything Tracy and Ryan are doing, how much self-scouting will you guys have to do to kind of take the next step with that play?
Yeah, I think it's also learning about our coverage players and where to put the ball based on where our guys are at. And I think as guys like Bryson Tremaine, Thomas Incoom, Claude Cherilus, just guys that are starting to make plays on kickoff, teams are going to start looking for doubles in different ways, and we have to just make sure that the kicks fit in with the coverage unit and how we can kind of balance that part out.
You and the Rams are the only two teams that seem to be like fully embracing doing what you're doing. Are you surprised that more people haven't picked it up over the last?
I believe that most teams have tried throughout camp, and they know their kickers, and so you can only push them as far as their capabilities allow them. And Ryan and Matt Wright really showed an ability to try to challenge the return teams with different angles. And I'm sure that all the other teams were trying to spot balls in different ways, but you have to be cognizant of the landing zone and knowing the flip side if you don't get it in there, and giving the team an automatic, 35-yard line start if you can't land it, before he goes over the goal line. And so I think it's team to team. And, I have a lot of faith and confidence in a lot of the coaches knowing, like, this is our guy. This is what we can count on him to do.
You're always harping on turnovers as a coach, but you've seen the difference between the first 5 quarters of the season. We had, Bryce had 5 turnovers to the last 7 that they had done in the success. I guess it helps deliver your point with those guys.
Absolutely, and it's an organizational belief. It's a team thing, and all the guys know that they're accountable for that. You don't carry the ball for yourself; you carry it for the whole team, and that's the language that we use. And the trust factor in, guys, when we play clean football and we can just get into our schemes, now we can have success. Now we can build a rhythm. Now we can set things up, and it really goes for both sides of it.
I'm assuming you didn't scout Drake May last year, obviously, but how have you seen his game develop in the last season of the quarter?
You start with the physical traits. So I did watch him. I did evaluate his film. I think in this league, regardless of where you're at with a quarterback situation, quarterbacks, sometimes you end up in another opportunity down the line to evaluate the players to see if they can help you in some way. So I try to make sure we have our due diligence to watch him. A big, strong athlete. He's got a phenomenal arm. He can run. And what I've seen him do is in this, limited sample size, but what I've seen him do is playing really clean football. And, for the most part, just executing their offense. And he's got some special throws in there.
The old quarterbacks were in the wristband with the plays on it. What's your philosophy on that?
I think it's player to player. Some players are very comfortable getting the wristband number in their ear and just reading it off. Some quarterbacks, like Bryce likes to say the play, kind of visualize it, and speak to the guys that the play is talking to. I think he feels like he connects more with the huddle, with the group before we go out there, which breeds confidence. I've had different guys with different appreciations for a wristband. Gino was more like, just give me a couple of the long ones, some of the clunkier calls. Just give me those on a wristband. The rest of it, I'll be fine, and I'll be able to handle those. So every guy's different.
Last question from Kelly.
Coming off of a win with a lot of good things to build on, did you notice a little more energy out there or excitement?
Just after the game, I found a group come back in on Monday understanding that we have all this work to do in front of us, but there's a level of confidence to show, guys, the work works. And if we stick to our processes and we play our brand of football, our style of football, number one, by taking care of the ball and trying to make the most of the opportunities when we have it to take the ball away, what it can lead to. And so that part just allows me to kind of double down on it. But this is a really focused group, starting with Derek Brown, who's just like, celebrating the win. He's like, this is great. We got work to do, you know, and I love that humility of the group to be able to look at it, to enjoy it, but say, we got to move on, and we have to have the same type of focus that we had for this game carry over into the next game. All right, thank you.
Dodgers. Oh.
You still look a little sluggish on that. Have you been practicing?
Appreciate
What are you doing?
That was a nice word I used, sluggish.
Yeah.
Questions for Bryce?
So what are you doing to work on the sliding?
Trying to do whatever it takes to win. Whatever it takes, big dog, whatever it takes.
Do you know Drake May at all? Have you had any conversations with him? And as a young quarterback in the NFL, what are you? I mean, obviously, I know you're not playing each other,
Yeah.
but just your impressions. Of him.
Yeah, been around him maybe once or twice, but just from watching the film, I have a ton of respect for him and his game. I think he's a great player, has a super bright future ahead. Does a lot of really good things, and him being from around this area, I've met and know people who have known him, and they've all said he's a great dude. I have a ton of respect for him.
Seeing from that Patriots defense on tape.
Yeah, really good group. They're playing really well. That front is playing really well, playing with a lot of tenacity. The entire box is doing a great job. Same thing in the back end too. They're doing a really good job of communicating, of executing. I think that they're playing really high level football right now. So for us, we know it's going to take everything throughout this week to prepare, to give us the best chance to execute, and we're excited for the challenge.
You had a bunch of pass catchers down today. How valuable is it to get some reps with some of the guys that maybe you don't normally throw to?
Yeah, it's a unique opportunity that's just part of NFL football. Practices, games, obviously you're going to have movement. So, I have confidence in all the guys here. We have a great group. So it's able to get some reps in with some different guys today, which I think is good for the team.
Bryce, coming down the stretch last year, a lot of those games you were out there with David, with Dangerson, with different guys. How does that kind of experience working with different people inform what you do moving forward? Yeah,
I think it's just gives me confidence, gives the team confidence. We have a lot of guys that we know, can go out and execute a game plan. That's all we're here for, is to go out there and execute. There are guys that did it last year, guys that have been working throughout camp, working throughout season, in whatever role they've gotten. Every rep really makes a difference. We watch every rep. We go back in meetings, and you get to see how people do things, see how people carry themselves. Again, we have a great group, top to bottom. So I think it's a luxury for us.
Right. So there's a definitive line like. After the first five quarters of the season, you had 5 turnovers, none since. And the numbers, you're scoring. I think you're outscoring teams 49-17 the last 7 quarters. I mean, the importance of just taking care of the ball, I guess, has been driven home in these first 3 games.
Yeah, of course. Taking care of the ball is obviously just super important in this league. As someone who touches the ball every single play, take pride in that. It's a week-to-week league. Want to make sure that I'm continuing to take care of the ball. We all continue to take care of the ball. And then, they're also obviously emphasize taking it away. Defense done a great job of that last week, of course. And, we talk about it a lot in the building. So we want to make sure we take care of it and take it away.
As a basketball guy, when you saw T-back go up, it looked like he took off twice on that leap and he came. What did you think when you saw that? And then again, when you saw the replay of it on film?
Yeah, just want to give him a chance. When you have a guy like that, you just want to put in his vicinity, be able to give him a shot. And he does all the hard work. Again, that was an amazing catch. Again, for me, not surprising at all. You see stuff like that at practice all the time. It's stuff that he's capable. So again, being able to have someone that you trust like that, trust all the guys, but everyone has their unique set of skills. Him having that is definitely a luxury.
You said it was not surprising. Has there been a catch that he's made that's surprised you, maybe early on at least?
Again, I've watched him since high school, played against him in high school, and watched a lot. So it's tough for things to be surprising. I've seen a lot of things in game or in practice, and then now being able to play with him on the practice field. He's one of those guys, you throw it up in his vicinity. Again, he's capable of catching. You almost want to say expect something amazing to happen, but again, he just has that capability. So us all in the building, we all have all the confidence in the world in him.
Is there a particular play or even a character trait about David Moore that speaks to why people have such trust in him?
Just his consistency. Obviously on the field, just being, especially with his coaching staff in different places, being consistent everywhere. But it's really on how he carries himself and everything he does. Consistent and showing up early. doing the little things in walkthrough and meetings, always locked in, knowing exactly what's going on, having the formations down, all that stuff. Just that consistency, it builds trust within all of us.
You've had to wait on wins your first 2 years. Is there a weight lifted off of you and the team even just to get a win in your third week?
Again, I think it's a week-to-week league. You know, we've already flushed last week. You know, the only thing we look back at on is figuring out how we can grow and improve. It's all about the Patriots this week. We're 0-0. We want to be 1-0 this week. That's all that matters. So that's really the mindset.
How close was last week to sort of the ideal game script that you guys wanted to stick to, not having to chase a team, not having to get away with what you wanted to do?
Yeah, it was good. Again, it was good just feeling like we could, you know, kind of dictate some things. Again, all phases of the ball really helped with that. And now for us, again, we got to be able to look at the film, see what we can do to replicate it, see what we can do to improve and get better at stuff. It's a new week, new opponent. It's going to take everything. So regardless of how it felt last week, we have to earn the right to be in a good spot for this week.
The value, though, knowing that you can play that way. You can sort of step on the team in the second half and not let them into it, to sort of go along with what we saw in week 2, where you can chase a team and really maybe kind of run them down as well.
Yeah, but I think that's something that we've always had. We've always had confidence. We always had belief within the building. We know what we're capable of. Again, it's just on us to execute.
How does the game change when you go from JT there to Tommy and the rest of the guys at that position?
Yeah, you know, really we're super deep at that position. Obviously, you know, whenever you're you know, whatever it is with JT, whatever that is, I'm not a doctor, but whatever it is, you know, when you're not with guys or whatever, dealing with stuff with guys, that always hurts. But again, we're super deep at that position. It's a luxury. We have a lot of really good talent at that position, and we have confidence in those guys to do everything. So, you know, for us, again, regardless of what it is that happens, we know we're going to get great production from that room.
Do you think this can be, that could be a springboard win for you? Because, I mean, there's a huge difference in terms of making the playoffs if you start 0-3 or 1-2. But the way you guys won it, can that be a springboard going forward for you?
Again, it's a week-to-week league. We know what we're capable of. We're a confident group, but also we know that we're not entitled to anything. We know that a win last week, you know, when we get up there, it's going to be 0-0 to start the game. So, again, we have all the confidence we need. We just have to go out there and execute.
What type of energy do you see with all the younger players on the defensive side? I know Dave asked them to play more younger players on defense after the opener. So have you noticed a pickup or uptick in the energy with some of those guys getting more reps?
Well, it's just been great to see the juice that's been going out there. I think our defense has done a great job of that consistently. So not comparative, but just from the sideline, again, we feel all that. We feel the energy. We feel the juice they bring. We feel how much passion they play with. They do that in practice. They take it over to Sundays. It's huge for us on all 3 phases. So, yeah, we're super grateful for that unit that we have. Appreciate you guys.
Sir, thank you.